Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll just take a minute or so to allow people to join the session. Thank you very much if you're just joining us now for today's session, which is going to be on engineering with an engineering focus. We're just going to leave it another 20 seconds or so just to allow the stragglers to join us. Okay, thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Ian and I work for Northumbria University, Newcastle, and I'm joined today by a panel of esteemed colleagues from universities across the UK. And today we're going to have a focus on engineering and all things engineering, and hopefully give you a better idea as to what you might be studying in the UK should you choose to come over here, and all the pluses and benefits and career options that you have in that field. So before I kick off in earnest, what I want to do is to allow my counterparts to introduce themselves. So first of all, again, my name's Ian and I'm from Northumbria University, and then we'll go over to Jill, who's at the top of my screen.
Hello, I'm Jill. I'm from the University of Central Lancashire, which is based up in the northwest of England.
Thank you very much, Jill. And now over to Diane.
Hi, I'm Diane from the University of Kent, and we are based in Canterbury in the southeast corner of the UK, about an hour from London.
And now over to Emma.
Hello, I'm Emma and I'm from the University of Portsmouth, and I'm based on the south coast of the UK, about an hour and a half from London.
And finally, but by no means least, Hamza, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Hamza and I'm from Nottingham, Trent University. We're based in the East Midlands in the heart of the country.
Perfect. And just to mention that one of our colleagues can't join us today, unfortunately, Matthew, who's from Liverpool, John Moores, but we will touch upon his university within this presentation as well. So first and foremost, studying engineering in the UK. So here's a famous quote from Albert Einstein, just to get you really thinking and to get the cogs going. So scientists investigate that which is, engineers create that which has never been. So thinking about engineering in a creative manner and an exciting manner as well. So just to get you thinking a little bit about the field of engineering. What we're going to talk about today is why you should study engineering, what are the pros of studying engineering, talking about engineering in terms of it being a diverse sector. So the fact that regardless of what sector you're in, there is engineering work to some degree, more or less. So we're going to talk about different options within the field of engineering. We're going to talk about job prospects within engineering as well. I know that there's certainly going to be a few of you on the call whose parents, for example, will be very much pushing them towards an engineering career because of the job prospects there. We're going to think about some of those key questions and what you need to look at in terms of looking for the right course for you. We're going to look at each of our universities in turn as well. So you're going to get a bit of information from each of us. And finally, and possibly one of the most important aspects of this presentation, we are going to be able to answer some of your questions as well. What I want to encourage you to do at this point is to, if you do have any questions, to pop those in the Q&A, and we'll be able to answer those at the end, and we'll have an opportunity for you to do that. So firstly, why be an engineer in the first place? Why go down that path? Well, one of the major reasons that you might think of is to improve the world. So you're going to be using skills and expertise that are really going to contribute to your society. I'm sure wherever you are in the world, you've seen an engineering project ongoing in one form or another. And I can't think of an engineering project that really hasn't been something that's developed or grown an industry or a government or a country in one way or another. So it's definitely an industry, a kind of career area that you can be involved in that allows you to really improve the world. We talked about employability just earlier. It is certain to say that engineers are in high demand, and that goes across different sectors of engineering as well. And we would expect that whatever the future holds in terms of technological advancements, that engineering students and those that go on to be engineers will be highly employable for many, many years to come. International opportunities, certainly when I think about my friends who went into the field of engineering, so many of those have been involved in international projects across the world, working on lots of different sites, in lots of different sectors. And it is a real opportunity to see things that other people might not be able to see. You also have huge amounts of transferable skills across many sectors. So thinking about the sort of mathematical skills, for example, that are involved, the planning, the teamwork, creativity, communication. So it's really a field that you can excel in if you choose to go down that route. It's safe to say that engineering splits itself up into many different disciplines, and it certainly does at university level as well. So I'm not going to go into huge amounts of details about each of those, but just allow you to have a bit of a skim read of those whilst I'm talking. So common disciplines at our universities might be the likes of mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, electronic engineering, or also chemical engineering. Some of you also might be interested in areas such as aeronautical engineering, for example, or automotive. It's actually much broader than this, but this gives you just a flavour of the different disciplines that we have available throughout our universities for you, whatever field you might be interested in. So in terms of engineering itself, different sorts of engineering, different things that you can do, carrying out original research into areas that haven't been investigated before. So that's sort of research and development side of engineering. You know, there might be design engineering, that might be something that you're interested in. So thinking about projects, particularly within construction or manufacturing, things that are, you know, quite practical and things that are going to make things work for industries or for businesses. Could think of project engineering or construction management. So managing engineering or construction projects, making sure things are completed on time, within budget, and also to spec, so to client requirements, and also within the parameters of safety legislation, which of course is very important the world over. Also, another area that you might be thinking about is sort of process engineering in terms of different forms of engineering. So analyzing manufacturing process and finding ways to make them safer and more efficient as well. So just, again, a bit of a flavour of different engineering types there. This slide is really designed to sort of make you think about how engineering is all-encompassing, and it affects, you can be involved in different roles within the same industry. So, for example, here, thinking about the sort of mass transit sort of industry. So specifically here, thinking about like the railways, the rail network. So it may be that, you know, as an engineer, that you could be designing trains themselves, thinking about how to make them highly performing, how to get the best value for money, for them to be safe for use on track. You might be thinking about how that train can be used connected to the electricity grid. So, for example, if those trains run on overhead wires, you could be involved directly as an engineer in the creation, maintenance, and development of those overhead wires, for example, or the conductors that allow the trains to run. Of course, within any sort of mass transit as well, you know, there's so many different cogs, no pun intended, moving within the system. and you may be involved in the automation of that transit network. So making sure that within the timetabling of trains, they could make sure that those trains don't collide, that they are running to time. And if there are any problems, that there are processes in place that really allow you to make sure that the trains run in the way that they should. Or perhaps, more, I guess, perhaps more on the kind of construction and even slightly architectural side of things. You may be looking at, for example, bridge construction, and that more classic kind of version of what engineering is in the real world. So in that respect, engineering the world over, in terms of one industry, you could be doing lots of different job roles there. Again, we talked a little bit about the different careers within engineering that you could take on. And again, depending on what subject area that you study at university, there's lots of different areas that you could go into. So I just want to touch upon a few that might pique your interest. So one of the big ones at the moment, of course, is energy. So as the world shifts to renewable energy, we think about the creation of solar panels and the networks that are involved in the creation of those. And that's certainly an exciting area for engineers to be considering in the future as well. Biomedicine is another fantastic area to be thinking about the future. The creation of artificial limbs, even artificial organs. We've came a long way since the days of pacemakers, just being the only piece of engineering or equipment, within the body. So, if you're wanting to look at supporting people's lives, improving people's lives, that might be something that you're interested in as well. And of course, one of the big areas across the world is automotive engineering as well. So thinking about particularly the advent of electric cars, thinking about how those run, the infrastructure, how to reduce carbon emissions from those that are still running on fossil fuels. So the automotive industry, for example, is another great route to go down within engineering. So just a few different sort of ideas there of what kind of careers you can undertake within the field of engineering. You're probably thinking there's just so many courses out there, so many courses within the UK, and like, how do you possibly choose between all of them? So we've put together a list here of things that we think that you should be thinking of in what to look for in a course itself. So firstly, you might want to be thinking of how the course is actually taught. So is it flexible? Does it have a specialist route? Do you have optional modules that allow you to pursue your own interests? What sort of skills will you be learning? Does the course itself offer any kind of accreditation? Have you checked out the facilities that are on offer at each campus? And are those facilities something that excite you and facilities you might want to use as part of your studies? And importantly for a lot of you, you're probably going to be thinking about what links the universities might have with those key employers within the engineering sector. Most universities in the UK, and certainly for our universities, we will list a lot of our partners and employers that we work with on our websites as well. So that's information that you can easily check out. And of course, thinking about landing that job, getting that job after you finish your course as well. What kind of placement and employment opportunities might that university be able to signpost you to throughout your time with the university? And even, what sort of support might the university be able to offer you as part of, as being an alumni? So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump on to each of our individual universities and talk a little bit about what we have on offer. This first slide is from my colleague Matthew, who unfortunately can't be with us today, as I mentioned. So what Matthew has put on here is a list of the courses that Liverpool John Moores offers within the Department of Engineering. And as you can see here, you can pick out some of the key courses that I mentioned earlier, such as mechanical engineering, civil, construction engineering, but also some perhaps more specialist courses as well. So if you're looking at, for example, architectural engineering, building services engineering, things that are a little bit more niche to Liverpool John Moores. For Liverpool John Moores, the tuition fees for this coming year are going to be £16,100 for engineering, and they do have scholarships available as well. So that would be a £3,000 scholarship within the first year of study and a £1,000 reduction each year after as well. Typical entry requirements, looking at a BBC or ABB, depending on which course at A level. If you're looking at the IB, that would be the equivalent of 28 to 32 points. And there is also a pathway course available should you not meet those entry requirements. Liverpool John Moores, like other UK universities as well, will be able to offer, will be able to accept other international qualifications as well. So you'll be able to contact them to ask more about that. I'm now going to pass over to my colleague Diane, who's going to tell you a little bit more about what Kent offers.
Thank you very much, Ian. Hi, as I said before, my name's Diane from the University of Kent. We are located down here in the southeast corner of the UK. Our main campus is here in Canterbury, which is a very beautiful type of medieval city with lots of history, but very easy to get to London and also into mainland Europe. We're a campus university, so this is the campus, everything all in one place, very green, lots of space, very pretty campus that we're on. In terms of the engineering programs that we do, we don't have hundreds and hundreds of engineering programs, and we don't really do much in the way of engineering to do with construction. But what we do are kind of, we're very strong in certain subjects. So biomedical engineering is one area that we're very strong in. We also do electronic and computer engineering. These two that I've got here, computer systems and electronic communications, these have now been put together. So a new program has been created, which is combining the two. So it's electronic and computer engineering. And we also have mechanical engineering, which is a very kind of modern mechanical engineering program, and it's to do with the kind of modern applications of mechanical engineering. So you'll be looking at things like robotics and smart technology and autonomous vehicles, which is another way of saying driverless cars. So all those kind of modern applications of engineering will be studied. All of the programs are a 3-year bachelor's degree. They all have 1 year option of work abroad or a work placement, so working within the industry. Our entry requirements are here. As with all of us, we will accept students from just about every different education system. So A-levels, IB, American high school, Indian high school, all sorts of different curricula. If you're doing Fanawea, we have our own international foundation program, so we can have you can do a foundation program should you need to, and a lot of these are integrated into the programs, so you only need to apply for one visa. Can you move to the next slide, please, Ian? Thank you. So just very quickly, I'm not going to go through all of these, but we do have lots of great facilities There's a lot of money that's been put into the facilities. I don't even know what half of these things are. I'm sure you know far better than I do what a mat lab is. But you know, we have got all of those modern facilities. We have a lot of people coming in from local industries to give you demonstrations and talk to you about possible careers. We have Kent Engineering Society and this thing called the Tinker Sock, which is based in this area here called the Shed, which after your classes you can do lots of extracurricular activities to do with making things, using engineering, and just getting involved in things outside of your classes. The fees are £20,500, but we do have international student scholarships worth £3,000 reduction in your course fees, and academic excellence scholarships of £2,000, which are automatic if you're doing A levels or IB and you get high grades. We also have some music and some sports scholarships available. And as you can see down here, we have got the necessary professional accreditations for all of our engineering programs. That's enough from me. I shall now hand over to person.
So
Jill.
it's actually me again. Thanks, Diane. Actually, what I'm going to do just before I get going on to talk about Northumbria, which is my university, is just again to encourage you, if you do have any questions, please pop those in the Q&A. It really is your opportunity to ask any of those questions about engineering, or any questions really in general, I suppose, that we could answer in terms of studying in the UK. We'll do our absolute best to answer those questions. No question is a stupid question at all. We get asked so many different things, and if you're thinking it, somebody else probably is as well. So please do ask those questions. So a little bit about engineering at Northumbria. The different branches of engineering that we offer at Northumbria are mechanical, electrical, civil, automotive, and construction engineering. And engineering at Northumbria is really hands-on and really real-world focused as well. So really designed to give you a flavour of engineering before going into the field. We have benefited from a huge amount of investment over the past decade or so. We've actually invested over £6.7 million in our STEM facilities, which was part of a grant that we received. We've got a 50-ton test frame. We've got a 5-axis state-of-the-art CNC machine, and all other types of things that will probably make more sense to you than they certainly do to me. The things that excite me, certainly within our engineering department, is that we have a state-of-the-art wind tunnel. So this is designed to test wind resistance, and this is particularly useful within the automotive industry. So to see, for example, how a car might perform within there's a huge wind resistance. We have a load-bearing machine, which is a giant crushing machine, which means that we can test how much weight certain structures can bear in testing, and that's really cool. Obviously, getting to crush things and that facility being there on campus. So some really cool things going on within the department. Lots of machines, 3D printing, lots of gadgets, lots of exciting stuff going on. We are actually a highly ranked university in the UK for engineering as well. We're top 10 for electrical and electronic engineering, and top 20 for civil engineering within the Guardian League tables this year. And we do, as a university, have an increasing focus on renewable energy and smart materials. Those kinds of future areas where the future jobs within engineering are probably going to really focus. We also have really strong national and international links for work placements and experiences. The northeast of England, where Northumbria University is based in the city of Newcastle, has a rich engineering heritage, from shipbuilding to steelworks, a huge industry when it comes to coal and car manufacture and those sorts of industries. So a real opportunity there to work with some of our partners. And engineering is a real focus for us, for students coming from the Gulf. So I would say that engineering is one of our top subject areas that students come over from the Middle East to the UK to our university to study. Just in terms of entry requirements, I guess I want to touch upon. So we look for ABB or BBB at A level. We're looking at 28 to 34 IB points if you're doing the IB curriculum. If you're doing the USA curriculum, we'll be looking at having a 3.0 GPA and scoring at least 1-90 in your SAT1, with neither your written or your mathematical side with a score below 650. We are really affordable. We're currently charging £16,000 per year for this coming year of study, and we do have scholarships available. So our global scholarship is an automatic fee reduction, and this is continuing this year, something that we're really proud of. It means that we can offer you a scholarship without any kinds of means testing. So this is a guaranteed scholarship you will get, which is worth £3,000 in the first year of study and £1,500 each year after. So it would mean, in fact, you would only pay £13,000 in your first year of study and £14,500 each year after that. It's worth noting as well that all of our engineering courses are either 3 or 4 years in length. And actually, depending on which way you go about it, some of these courses can extend up to 5 years in length as well. So our courses are either at bachelor level for 3 years, at master's level for 4 years worth of study, or you could study to master's level, including a placement year, and have a total of 5 years worth of study with us. So there's quite a lot of flexibility there in how you study and to what level you want to get. If you are thinking about becoming a chartered engineer, you are going to be wanting to think about postgrad study and how that might look and where you're going to do that. We have a route that allows you to continue your studies with us throughout to achieve that accreditation that you might need. So moving on, my next colleague who's going to speak to you is Hamza. And over to Hamza.
Hello everybody. So Nottingham Trent University do offer a few courses in engineering. So as you can see on the screen, we offer biomedical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electronic engineering and sport engineering as well. Most of these courses are going to be held on our Clifton campus, which is about 20 minutes from the city centre. And on the Clifton campus, we've actually had a brand new engineering building that's actually been built. So this holds equipment such as our 3D printers, hydraulic rigs and structural testing equipment for those interested in civil engineering, and also our Formula One simulator that we have as well. So this is a very new building, and the way it's been sort of equipped is with the latest sort of equipment within industry. And the reason for this is because we want to try and give you guys the actual experience of using industry standard equipment while on your course as well. You'll notice that quite a few of the courses on screen have B-Eng and M-Eng on there as well, and the difference between the two would be the Bachelor's of Engineering would just be a 3-year course. The Master's in Engineering would actually be you could do it as a master's by itself, or you could actually do your bachelor's and master's all in one as well. So all of those courses also offer a placement opportunity, as the same as many of my colleagues, so the opportunity to work in industry for a year as well. So looking at the screen, you can have a look at the entry requirements right there. So between 112 and 120 UCAS points, maths is needed for all of our engineering courses as well. But apart from the curriculums that you can see on the screen, we accept different curriculums such as the CBSE or any of the national curriculums that you might be studying as well. So if you do have any questions specifically about that, you can contact me directly. At the moment for September 2021, our fees are £15,800 per year, and we do offer a range of scholarships from £2,000 off the first year all the way up to 50% off your first year, and then £22,000 off the remaining 2 or 3 years that you study as well. So that's a little bit about our program at Nottingham Trent University.
Thank you very much there, Hamza. And we are now over to Emma, who's going to tell you a bit more about Portsmouth.
Hello, yes, hi, I'm Emma from the University of Portsmouth, as I said before. And first of all, just our location, we are down on the south coast, so we are a seaside destination, a sunny seaside destination as well. The city is an island city, so it's not a huge place, and the university is based right in the centre of the city. So you are in amongst the city life as well as university buildings, so it's very easy to get about, and you don't need a lot of money. Once you're down on campus, you can just kind of walk to most places. In terms of engineering, just like many of the other universities, we have a really wide range of areas that we cover in engineering. So these are the schools that we offer engineering subjects in. So the School of Maths and Physics, Computing, Civil, Mechanical and Energy, and also the Institute of Cosmology and Gravitation. So a big range there of schools that we offer it in, and they all sit within our Faculty of Technology. So the faculty is our most diverse faculty. We get a huge number of international students every year from all over the world. We get students from over 150 different countries, and they are obviously very interested in engineering due to it being a global area that you can take it to. On all our undergraduate courses, we offer a placement year, so you have the opportunity of going into a placement in your third year and then having a fourth year back at university. And we also offer BEng, which is a Bachelor of Engineering, and MEng, which is a Masters of Engineering. So a lot of engineering courses you do require to get the full accreditation, a Masters at the end of it, and that's why we offer it as actually a full undergrad and postgrad together. Our courses are accredited, which means that they're recognised in industry, and all the teaching is based around getting you into industry in the end. So lots of exciting things going on in the university. If we could just move on one more slide, please, I can tell you a bit more about the actual courses. So these are the main courses I've pulled out to highlight to you. So we've kind of moved away from more of the kind of petrochemical elements, and we're moving into more of the energy, renewable energy. And that's as a university, we're trying to be more green, and our courses demonstrate that as well. So we've got electrical and renewable energy engineering, which is quite a new course for us. And like I said, it's come from having petroleum, which has moved into this now. We've also got a range of civil engineering courses, construction engineering management as well. And then at master's level, you can go into more specialist areas within civil. Innovation engineering, mechanical and aeronautical engineering, and mechanical and manufacturing, as well as just pure mechanical. So a lot to choose from there, and mechanical is probably our most popular subject area, and students within mechanical get to join our sports team if they want, which means that they can build a Formula One sports car throughout their course, and then test it against other universities in a competition, and it happens every year in normal years when COVID's not around. and students get to design, build, and then race their car. And that's all part of the mechanical engineering department. We also have a geology and geotechnics course, and then software engineering, which is more computing. And then we do have a foundation in this department, which is a university foundation. We do also have a foundation in our foundation provider, which links into many of the courses as well. So if you've taken the Thanawea, we're looking for about 60% to come to foundation. If you've taken the British or American curriculum, then we will look at those grades that you're getting in that, and we will hopefully be able to take you into year 1. We do need an element of maths in your course, so C or above in A levels, GCSEs as well. We'll be looking at your maths too. And English as well. If you've got a C in IGCSE or above, we will accept you without IELTS or any other English requirements. But there's lots of flexibility in terms of the English language test that we will accept. In terms of the fees, our engineering courses tend to be the more pricey courses because they are lab-based and you will be using our facilities. And so they are £17,600. We do offer a £1,600 discount to lots of nationalities. It depends on your nationality as to whether you'd be entitled to it, but about 30 different nationalities can gain that £1,600 discount. We do also have a discount of £5,000 as well, which is a merit-based scholarship. So there are scholarships available. It would be worth looking into in a bit more depth if you are looking to apply. So I think I'm going to leave it there, and we're going to go to questions, I believe, at this point.
I think, hang on.
Oh, have we left Jill out?
Tie on me.
Jill is waving as if to say, Emma, you have forgotten me. So I'm just going to go on to the next slide, which is last but by absolute no means least, Jill.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So yeah, as we said before, my name's Jill. I'm from the University of Central Lancashire. We are based up in the northwest of England, very close to the coast. So it is a city centre campus, which is great, and it means that you have access to all of the shops, the cafes, restaurants, all of that. But it also means that you've got those really nice outdoor spaces. So there's places to go that you can relax away from the hustle and bustle of city life. Now, Lancashire, if you're unaware, it is a county, and it's very much like an American state, and the city of Preston lies within the county of Lancashire, and Lancashire itself is actually home to the largest number of STEM graduates in the UK. So here at UCLan, we offer a lot of accredited engineering programs, and I'll show those to you on the next slide in a few minutes. And those programs have all got a real distinct emphasis on practical learning. So that's where we're going to ensure that you're developing those practical business skills in key areas like problem solving, decision making, teamwork, and communications, as well as the other more industry related practical skills that you're going to need. And these will help you to get noticed by employers when the time comes for you to look for jobs. Now, as a student in our School of Engineering, you're going to learn within our new Engineering Innovation Centre. I know a lot of us are investing a lot of money into facilities, and ours is a £35 million Engineering Innovation Centre, which is also called the EIC. Now within here, you're going to have the opportunity to carry out all sorts of research and work with commercial partners. So you'll get to participate in real world links with industry and real world research that's all going on as well. You're going to have access to the cutting edge facilities in those advanced fields like aerospace, motorsports, robotics, AI, all of those popular subject areas that we're hearing a lot about at the moment. And then the facilities that we have to help you with learning about those industries. You've got 3D printers, flight simulators, CNC manufacturing workshops. There's a fire, oil and gas lab, a drone lab, an intelligent machines lab. There's a motorsports workshop. So there's absolutely everything that you need to go along with those subjects that we deliver, so that you're going to have the skills that are needed to be successful once you've graduated. So as I said, we've got the accredited degree programs, and most of the routes that we have will allow you that opportunity to put the theory into practice, which you can do through a 1-year paid placement or a short-term industry. So we actually have a placements team that are there to help you try and find a placement. They'll give you all of the workshops that you need to build up your CV and to work on interview techniques, show you where to look for internships and placements as well. So where you can, it's probably encouraged to try and do that, because you're getting something really core to put on your CV, so that once you've graduated, you're very desirable to future employers. And if you're lucky, you might also receive a job offer from your placement for once you have graduated. So for us, a lot of our graduates are leaving us with those practical, hands-on core engineering skills. You're going to have the ability to design, manufacture, and also service complex systems as well, making you very, very desirable. And a number of our graduates go on to work in those core engineering companies that you'll have heard of, like F1, Ministries of Defence, Airbus and BAE Systems, just to name a few. As we're a large provider of engineering programs, we've got a lot of skilled academics as well who come from industry themselves. So we have got those established links with industry across the sector, and we maintain the industry links, and it means that you're also always going to be learning current best practices, again, making you desirable for once you've graduated. One of the recent things I've just learned about our school as well is that we've recently received the Athena Swan Bronze Award, which is showing our commitment to gender equality across the school as well. If we could just go to the next slide, please. Thank you very much. So, yep, on the screen, what I've done here is listed a range of our subject areas. What you can see on there is whether we offer it as a 3-year Bachelor of Engineering or a 4-year Master of Engineering, or we've got some that are a 3-year Bachelor of Science. So we've listed the areas and what route you can take. So you can see there's quite a lot of variables there, and there is some flexibility. So you might not know now that you want to do an MEng, but it would be something we could discuss with you at a later date. Entry requirements, they really do vary depending on the programme. So obviously we would recommend that you research through the website to find out what the entry point is, or you can just get in touch with us and we can give you that guidance. But really you're looking at between 96 and 120 UCAS tariff points. If you're not sure what tariff points are, basically your grades equals a point, and then those number of points will make an entry requirement. So there is a calculator we can help you with, but basically it's A-levels around 3 Cs or 3 Bs. We've worked that out in IBs, into US and also into the India curriculum as well. If you need a foundation year, there's 2 types of foundations you could do. It would either be an international foundation year through a provider such as On Campus or NC UK, or we have a year 0 for most of our courses as well. So if, for example, you're an A-level student and you didn't quite get the 3 Cs, you could come and do the year 0 for your chosen engineering route. If you've done Thanawiya, then you would need to do the international foundation year through a foundation provider. At the university, the tuition fees for engineering start at £14,000 per year. You won't pay that because we will give you scholarships. So all students are guaranteed a £1,000 international bursary, and that automatically comes off of every year of your study. We have other scholarships as well. Depending if you go to a GEM school, you could get a scholarship, or we also have academic scholarships and a family scholarship as well. So if you've got a sibling who's looking at coming the same academic year as you, or you've had a sibling or family member come through the university, we can apply that. So you could get anywhere up to £5,000 per year discounted off your tuition fee.
Thank you very much there, Jill. And I think that brings me on to my final plug before we go on to your questions. I just encourage you now, if you do have any of those final questions, pop them in the Q&A. We're going to go through those. I'm going to answer those as best as we can now. But just to let you know, we do have some future presentations that are going to be coming up over the coming weeks. So if you haven't done so already and booked onto these, if you're interested in art, architecture and portfolio preparation, that will be taking place on the 9th of June. 16th of June sees our spotlight on computing programs within the UK. And just to top it off, on the 23rd of June, we're going to be looking at top tips to help you prepare for studying in the UK in 2021. So what I'm going to do now is going to invite the panel back onto screen now, and we're going to go through the questions that you have already asked thus far. And I'm going to be popping those out there, and one of my counterparts will pick those up and answer those. We've had a couple in the chat, I believe, which I'm going to pick up on first, and then a few in the Q&A as well. So the first question that I am going to pick up for you guys is that somebody's asking about computer engineering here and what type of engineering that would fit into. And they also want to know the difference between what computer engineering is, what computer science is. So is there anyone that would like to pick up that question? I can see a hand raised from Jill.
I'll go ahead, Jill. Sure. So computer engineering for us would sit under our School of Computing. But I think really what I was looking at was the difference between computer science and computer engineering. So where you have computer science, that is mostly focusing on troubleshooting issues on a software level. So you're very much looking at the software side of things. Whereas with computer engineering, you're going to be looking at the problems and designing the hardware and software interfaces. So they're quite different. And I think that you'd need to have a think about what you prefer yourself and what sort of industry you want to go down. But there might be some universities that offer a bit of a hybrid of the two. So really, I think it would be a case of checking out the websites, looking at the modules and seeing what the career progressions have been for past students.
Thank you very much, Jill. Very useful. We have a question regarding AP. So if there are those of you that are studying the USA curriculum, the question is whether credit from the AP can be used in your application, I believe. So I'm going to throw that one out to Hamza, I think, to answer that.
Yeah, so we do accept APs and we do sort of consider what your AP scores are when it comes to our entry requirements for the university as well. So if you definitely have studied any specific AP subjects, that would be very useful. Similar to the AP, we are accepting the SATs that are still currently going at the moment. We do know that those have been sort of cancelled for future, but some people are still taking those final exams. So I think the main thing is that if you make sure that you're getting in touch with your universities, I think all of us on screen here are quite flexible with our entry requirements. If you've got a blended mix of different sort of curriculums, we could be able to tell you specifically what you might need as well. So the key thing, if you're not sure, is to ask whichever universities you've applied to, and they'll be able to help you on that front.
Perfect. Thank you very much there, Hamza. We have a question coming in regarding if there's somebody that's applying to one of our universities who isn't really sure. They're interested, if they choose mechanical engineering instead of a specific engineering major, will I have the option to choose what I want later in the course? So that's a question, I believe, with regards to if they want to pursue engineering, but they're not quite sure yet, what should they do in terms of next steps, and can they start a course and then move on to a different course? So I'm going to throw that one out to Diane.
Thank you very much. It's quite a difficult one because very often in the UK, because our bachelor's degrees are 3 years, they're really quite focused. In other countries where there's a 4-year degree programme, your first year you may be doing different types of courses and then you decide on your majors afterwards. It's not really like that in the UK, but there are sometimes, depending on the university and the course that you're doing, there may be options to move within a department. Obviously, all of your courses right from the beginning are really focused on that subject. So you've got to make sure with the individual university that they will allow that. Another option, if you go to do a foundation program, then a 1-year foundation may in engineering or technology or whatever the title of it is, that may give you options to go into all sorts of different engineering kind of programs. So you'll have that year during your foundation to really work out what branch of engineering you want to do. But you really do need to have some kind of, it would be better to have some kind of idea about which branch of engineering you want to go into. But look at the individual universities, look at the course content of them and see if they interest you and suit your career goals. Yeah, so that's all I've got to say on that.
Great idea about the foundation program as well, and that helping you sort of decide, you know, for certain institutions what that would allow you to go on to study and what you want to study as well. So the next question within our Q&A, it's something that we're asked quite often, which is regards to the placement year, should they undertake one, and in terms of the fees and what might be charged should they undertake a placement year. So I'm going to pass that one over to Emma.
Yeah, so placement years are charged. They're normally in the 3rd year of your degree. So in your 2nd year, basically you will do maybe a unit, or you will certainly be introduced to the idea quite early on in your 2nd year of whether you would like to go on placement. And the department will give you some you know, stories on where other students have gone to. They will give you guidance, and each faculty have their own placement team who can support you in finding that placement. So that's when you start looking basically at the beginning of your 2nd year. When you are on placement, you are normally charged, well, at my university, 10% of your fees for that year. And the reason that you are still charged fees and you're not just paying nothing because you're not in university is if you are on placement in the UK, you will get at least 2 visits from a tutor to your placement place, wherever that may be. And the reason they come and see you is to check that you are happy in your work, you are doing a proper job, you're not just, you know, shuffling paper around an office. You are actually you have been given a good job and you're benefiting from it. But you also come back on campus for a couple of days during the year as well, and you meet all your fellow placement year students, and you discuss the final year. And in your final year, you will be doing your final project. So you start preparing for that, even on placement. And I knew a lot of students who actually used their placement year and did their project based on that company that they worked in. So it's a very beneficial year for you. So yeah, the answer to your question is 10% of the fees is what you are charged, and that's because you are still a student. You can still come on campus, use our facilities and access everything. You have your support services from your tutor, and they will come and visit you as well, as long as you're not abroad. Obviously then it will be more virtual. Okay.
Perfect. So this brings us to about 5 minutes left to go. So what I've done is I've popped onto the screen there, and as my final sort of message to you guys would be, if there is content that we've not covered, if you do feel that you've got any questions that are specific to an institution that you would like to ask, all of our contact details are listed on there. What I would say is that email is probably the best way to contact each of us. We are often working lots of strange and wonderful hours, and if you drop us an email, we'll always be able to get back to you at some point. So with the time being what it is, we will wrap up for today, and we'd like to really thank you ever so much for coming along today, and hopefully between us you've learned a lot about engineering. You've had a bit of a think about what it is that you would like to do in the future, where you might like to study, and hopefully this has started or is nearing a conclusion of an idea in your mind about what you want to do in your future. So from me and the rest of the guys on the panel, who probably want to say bye at this point, I would just like to say thank you very much and see you guys later.
Thanks. Bye.
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 Bye.